Hello everybody, Smokey Smokes here. Going to be doing another late night with the flashlight out here tobacco review on this Cornell Diehl mountain camp. I got this quite a long time ago. Must have been like 2 years ago or so, but I went through the list of tobaccos that I own that I have not yet reviewed, and this was one of the 5 or 6 or so I had on this, so I figured I'd do a review for you since I'm trying to make more like weekly videos. I know it's been more like 2 or 3 weeks since my last video, sorry about that. I'm going to try to keep things more consistent. If you have any video requests or any specific cigars or e-liquids or anything you want me to try out and do a review, I will keep those in mind. But for now, here's this review. So on the website, it says this is made of Perique, Orientals, Latakia, Burley. Oh man, and one other thing I'm forgetting. Anyway, but I'll annotate it right now so you know. Filling up my church warden, I think my little warlock church warden I got from pipesandcigars.com years and years ago. Look, I love that orange little touch right there. But anyway. It's supposed to be, from the description, it's like Bayunite, if you've had that before. I'm pretty sure I did a review on that a few years ago. But the ratio of Latakia and Perique, I think, are reversed. I think it's supposed to, I might be wrong. Again, I'll annotate it if I'm wrong. I wish I had a way to look at my info as I'm recording with my phone, but I can't, so. Man, I love that English blend flavor and aroma. It's been a while since I've smoked in English. Very generous with the Latakia there. Some people say Latakia. I heard it's Latakia. I also heard it's Latakia. How do you pronounce it? Okay, I'm getting the Perique there too. So kind of getting it started, as you can probably tell. It's also a little bit on the drier side, even though I had all my English blends in a big old mason jar. For whatever reason, a lot on the top, like third of it or so, dried out a little bit. Not terribly, but you can hear. It's slightly dry, just slightly. I'm gonna rehydrate these in a bit. So it's see, what's weird about doing reviews like this and reviews on tobaccos and smoking things in general, you have to have a healthy compromise between understanding and knowing what is inside of it, what is in the blend, and what it's supposed to taste like, what the flavorings are, what it's advertised as well as keeping an open, non-subjective mind. What I mean by that is, if I had no clue what was in here, if I was not told anything about the tobacco, they're just smoke it, it's an English blend, I'd be slightly lost. I wouldn't quite be able to tell you what's in it other than the Latakia. However, if your mind is too subjective and you're focusing too much on what the advertisement says, what it's supposed to taste like, you subjectively, it starts influencing your mind. When you might start thinking, oh, it's supposed to taste like butter, I taste butter now, even though you wouldn't have said that if nobody told you that to begin with. But if nobody told you at all, you probably wouldn't be doing a good job detecting on any flavors. You gotta find a healthy mix. The reason I bring that up is because I'm not getting a whole lot with this. It's good. It tastes like a good, solid English blend. If you're an all-day English smoker, you've smoked so many kind of Englishes, yeah, you're gonna like this. There's nothing obviously wrong with it. There's just nothing obviously very good about it or anything that stands out in my mind yet. And that could have something to do with the fact that it's a little bit on the dry side. Like I said, it's not like horribly dry. It's just drying out just a little bit. I just gotta rehydrate it a smidge. Perique is a chameleon of a tobacco, if I haven't mentioned that before in previous videos. It really does. The flavor completely changes based on what it's around. Here, let me move the flashlight over here. I think that's a little better. Because my hand was, this hand kept getting in the way and casting a shadow on my face, like that. Yeah. The Perique, it's kind of, it's adding a bit of a spice to it. Perique is spicy. It also can be sour. Perique is the most unique, one of my favorite tobaccos out there, tobacco elements anyway, is Perique, but it is really polarizing. It completely changes on, you know, based on what you're mixing it with. So this tobacco is smooth, it's kind of creamy, it's very smoky, it's got a lot of Latakia, so if you're into your Latakia and smoky English blends, this is for you. Slightly spicy because of that Perique in there. I know one of the ingredients is burley. Burley has a very muted, nutty, almost neutral flavor. The idea that it smokes very cool, so you can kind of throw it into any tobacco that is smoking a little bit too hot, or you're trying to give it a base. That's what it's good for. I'm tasting that too. There's definitely a muted kind of backbone to this tobacco. Yeah, it's a really solid English blend. There's just not a whole lot to say. It's not very exciting. I'll give it that. It's not very. I don't know. It's just. I would never go out of my way to smoke this based on all the other delicious English blends I've had in the past. This is kind of lower on the priority level, but it's not bad either. Well, I'll continue to smoke this for a bit, and I'll let you know if the flavor changes. Okay, well, it's been about 50 minutes since I've had the camera on. I finished the bowl, and yeah, pretty good English blend. It's again, it's kind of creamy. It's smoky enough. If you like the Latakia, it's not lacking that at all. It's not the most smoky I've had either. It's a very middlesome, pretty good all-day English smoke. I guess that's the best I can call it. I didn't really want to call it an all-day smoke in general because most people don't smoke English blends all day unless you're strictly an English blend smoker. But it's not light either. It's a very moderate flavor, moderate strength. If you smoke it fast, like I was puffing on it because I was trying to keep it lit, I was having trouble keeping it lit. I don't know if that's the state of the tobacco it was in. I don't know if I packed it incorrectly, but for whatever reason, I was having a little bit of trouble. Not too much trouble, but a little bit of trouble keeping it lit. So that was not very fun. But it's pretty smoky. It's got a little bit of a bite to it. It's smooth. It doesn't smoke terribly hot, which is another good thing. I would assume that's the burley in there. Oh yeah, and the tobacco that I forgot to mention that was in it was Virginia. It's Perique, Turkish/Orientals, Latakia, burley, and Virginias. I believe that's all of them. And I don't know why I even said that because the annotation I provided you earlier already mentioned that. But there you have it again. So pretty good. If you want to check it out, go ahead. If you don't, you're not really missing a whole lot. It's a pretty good English blend, but there's about a dozen or so more that I would rather have. But yeah, give it a shot if you want. It's pretty good. That is the review.